Lately, views have dropped a lot. I'm not sure why. Maybe people aren't watching the full video. If you're here, please, do me one favor. Watch till the end. This story is full of emotional twists and powerful moments. Every second matters. Your full view means more than you know. If you feel connected to the story, comment what you would do. And don't forget to subscribe. That's all I ask. My niece laughed and said, "If you vanished tomorrow, no one would notice," while unboxing the $850 phone I bought her. Everyone laughed, except me. That night, I made a decision that would destroy my entire family, and I don't regret a second of it. My 13-year-old niece laughed and said, "Mom thinks no one would even notice if you vanished tomorrow." While unwrapping the $850 phone I got her, "Mom says if you vanished tomorrow, nobody would even care," she said, right as she peeled off the wrapping from the $850 phone I had just given her. The room burst into laughter, 30 people, all family, except me. I just smiled. I tapped twice on my phone, and in an instant, every bill, every subscription, every card I managed for them, gone. That night, I packed my things, walked away, and disappeared. All I left behind was a black backpack. Inside it? Well, let them find out. She laughed again, fingers delicately pulling off the plastic seal on the phone screen. Her voice was sweet, but the words? Like knives. All around us, voices filled the living room, loud and careless, the kind of noise you learn to tune out when you've heard it your whole life. There was a cake waiting on the kitchen counter. No candles yet, but the fire, that was already burning inside my chest. My sister Lindsay didn't even bother to look at me, just stared into her phone, smirking. A satisfied smirk like she got what she wanted. Mom was stirring something in the kitchen, pretending she hadn't heard what her granddaughter just said. But I saw her shoulders, how they lifted ever so slightly like she approved. Dad didn't even try to hide it. He laughed, lifted his beer, and muttered, "Well, she's not wrong." Cousins smirked. Uncle Gary, who barely knew me beyond holiday dinners, snorted into his drink. And I stood there, frozen, like the fool I'd always been, the one who paid for everything, the one who cleaned up their messes, the one they laughed at. "Thanks for the phone, Uncle," my niece chirped, already glued to the screen. I looked at her, and everything around me blurred, my chest tight, my skin burning, but I didn't say a word. I nodded. Because that's what I'd always done. Pretend. Smile. Act like it didn't hurt. Lindsay looked up. Our eyes met. She smirked wider. She knew what she'd done. "All right, everyone, time for cake," Mom called out, cheerful like nothing happened. They gathered around, lighting candles, making wishes, and I leaned on the kitchen counter, jaw clenched, fists curling, something darker stirring inside me. My hand slipped into my pocket. 2 taps, and just like that, their world crumbled. Every bill I paid, cut off. Every subscription, canceled. Every credit line I set up in my name for their use, erased. It was muscle memory at that point. Not a second thought. The room around me still buzzed. They laughed. They clapped. They carried on. I wasn't really there anymore, just a walking wallet with a heartbeat. Until now. I left without saying goodbye. No one noticed. Of course they didn't. My niece got one thing right that night. Didn't go home. I went straight to my apartment, grabbed a travel bag, and packed the essentials. Then I turned back. The black backpack sat in the back of my closet, something I hadn't touched in years. Tonight, though, it had a mission. I filled it, not with clothes, not with anything normal. And then I went back. The house was still loud, still a mess. No one noticed when I slipped in, walked down the hallway, and left the backpack beside the stairs. And then I left. For real. By the time they'd even notice I was gone, I'd already be a memory. Inside the backpack? Let them find out. The chaos didn't start right away. But the explosion hit the next morning. Pounding on my apartment door jolted me awake. Not knocks, not a call, just fists slamming into the wood. "Open up. You think you can just do this?" Dad's voice, furious. I stayed quiet, watched the door shake like it might break off the frame. "You think you're better than us?" he shouted. His voice cracked, not just with rage, with fear. I didn't reply. Eventually, the banging stopped. He left with a loud curse and a slam of the car door, but it was far from over. 20 minutes later, my phone buzzed. A text from Mom. "How could you do this to your own family?" No reply. Then Lindsay called, 6 times. Then a message. "You think you're so clever? You think we can't survive without you? Fine. Watch how fast we move on." I smiled. That wasn't a threat. That was a promise. But the real storm came that night. I was stepping out of the shower when I heard it, a key turning in the lock. My heart stopped. No one had a key. Except... The door flew open. Dad barreled in, red-faced, sweating. Mom followed, eyes wide. "You think you can lock us out?" he roared. "Get out," I said, calm, drying my hair. "Get out? This is how you treat your family?" Mom shrieked. "You didn't raise me. You used me." Dad stepped forward, fist clenched. "Try it," I said, eyes locked on his. His hand trembled, but didn't move. He wasn't a fighter, just a loudmouth. "What did you do?" Mom cried. "The cards aren't working. Lindsay can't pay her rent. The mortgage." I nodded. "All gone. Everything I covered. It's over." Dad laughed bitterly. "You think we need you? You think we'll beg?" "You broke into my place," I said. "Looks like begging already started." "You ungrateful little—" "Enough." My voice cut through him. "I'm done." "Please," Mom whispered. "We're your family." "Number. You're just people I used to support." "You can't do this," she pleaded. "It's cruel." "No," I said. "Cruel is spending my money and calling me worthless." Dad tried again. "You'll regret this. You'll come crawling back." "I won't." They stormed out. The next day, a new plan. Lindsay showed up at my work, puffy eyes, pale face, waving like we were still siblings. I didn't move. Security escorted her out. Later, the landlord knocked. "Your family's downstairs, causing a scene." "Call the police," I said. "But they're your family." "Not anymore." I watched from the window as security pushed them away, but I knew them. They wouldn't stop. And back at their house, that black backpack waited. They wouldn't understand what was inside, not at first. Days passed. I ignored everything. Messages, calls, voicemails. I skipped work, slept, breathed. But they kept trying. Lindsay's angry messages, Mom's sobs, Dad's switch from rage to manipulation. "Let's talk. Just you and me. No drama." I agreed. I knew it was a setup. We met at a stadium, crowd cheering, packed. He was alone, backpack in hand. "Thought you were smart, huh?" he said. "You left this behind. We found it." He thought he had dirt on me, secrets, lies. "Open it," I said. He didn't. He accused me of stealing, manipulating. "You pretended to be a good son." I leaned in. "The only thing in that bag is the truth." He trembled. "You'll regret this. Go ahead. Tell everyone how I paid your debts. How I bought that phone for the granddaughter who called me invisible." He stood, shouting. People stared. I stood too. "You want the truth?" I yelled, unzipping the bag. I pulled out documents, bank receipts, transfers, credit lines, all in their names. All from me. "You want betrayal?" I said, voice booming. "This is betrayal." I tossed the papers at his feet. They scattered down the stairs like dead leaves. "You can't just walk away," he shouted. I did, and I didn't look back. They tried more. Letters, tears, guilt. I ignored it all. Eventually, their world cracked. Lindsay lost friends. Mom's relatives ghosted her. Dad lost his job. They sat in the dark, bills unpaid. They crumbled. I thrived. No more fixing things, no more fake smiles, just peace. They became ghosts. I lived. I walked streets I'd never noticed. Sat in cafes alone and happy. Heard music not filled with pain. I wasn't their tool anymore. I was free, and I never looked back. And I